look at your adjustment screw, and you will see that the clean area right here is what goes into the through bolt, and this clean area at the top, of course, sets into the bracket. So push that through and screw it down. You don't have to tighten anything yet. Put this through so that you can tighten up the bolt, or the nut that goes on the other side of the through bolt. Okay, so now you've got that in there. You want to slide the belt up over the pulley and make sure that all the grooves line up with the ribs in the belt. Otherwise, if they don't and you tighten it up, you're going to screw up your belt and you're going to be out some more money. You're going to have to get a tow truck or have a friend haul you over to the parts store so you can put it back on and go through all this BS again. Take your 12mm nut and mount it onto the other side of the through bolt on the pulley side of the bracket. Okay, just finger tighten the nut on the one side of that through bolt. And then finger tighten your adjustment screw here until you get it up as tight as you can by hand. Again, make sure your belt is seated properly on the ribs and the grooves of the pulley. And then you can go ahead and start tightening everything down. The first thing that you want to do is tighten down the adjustment screw. That is a 10mm head, and then you'll tighten down the nut on the through bolt. Tighten this down, and then you can go ahead and tighten down the 14mm mounting bolt up here at the top. Once you get that, then you can make all your connections, and I'll show you that in just a second. Almost forgot, but if you can see it, you can kind of see it there on the screen, the clean area of that bolt back there in the back. Try and eyeball it as far as getting the tension up on your belt. If you don't have the right tension, your belt's going to slip and mess up. Again, costing you more money and probably friends.
You're gonna make that money back in just a few months. How did you not go find $1,000 to refinance?
Yeah, the guy was doing an FHA Streamline in one of the programs that if you took out your mortgage before May 31st of 2009, and so he had to bring $2,200 to closing, and $1,100 was his normal payment, Russ. So he ended up having to bring about an extra $1,100 to closing, but he was going to save like $273 a month, and so. People say, I don't have the extra $1,000 to save $273 a month. There's not a better investment that you'll make in your life than that.
And the fact that you had to explain it to him.
And he finally moved forward today, Russ. I mean, I think he called. He finally moved forward because he got the obvious that this is all about saving money. I got to tell you a quick story.
All right.
Okay, guy comes in to interview with us today, and he's working with a bank. Works for a bank. And he said, we tell everybody that it takes 60 days to close. He said 9 out of every 10 of our clients are so mad because we're not closing for 90 or 120 days. And he said, I got to serve as a firefighter putting out all the fires. And he said, I can't take it anymore. Folks, if you're dealing with a bank and you can't take it anymore, call us. Let's get it done. Let's get you in and out and closed in 10 to 15 days.
All right.
Thanks, Russ.
Check. 1-800-EXPRESS. The website is RodneyAnderson.com. Rodney Anderson and Supreme Lending is an equal housing lender.
Honey, I still hear that annoying rattling in my car. You promised you would fix it weeks ago.
I know. I just don't have the right tools or garage space.
Alright, everything's tightened, so, and some of y'all might be asking, how tight do I tighten it? Well, if you tighten it to where you can't tighten it anymore yourself, then you're pretty good. You should be able to take it off in case you have to again. Alright, so the next thing, if you remember, I said this was a pain in the ass. Usually this plastic cover comes up. I'm sure you have to have a special tool to hold this nut down on the back so that you can get this off. I have that nut in my my little bucket of parts, and they replace it anyway when you get it rebuilt. And the other nut that I was missing was this one up here, which mounts up to the wiring harness bracket. That's where that goes right there. Like I said, when you get it rebuilt, or even if you buy a new alternator, all of that's going to come with it, so it's not necessary to keep it, but if you want to, you can, and that way you've got extra parts just in case. Everything's tightened up. This is not moving anywhere. The belt's nice and tight. It's going to turn that compressor and the main crank pulley of the engine. So the next thing that we got to do is connect the wire and the harness. The harness comes up from up here, comes down. You've got the connection for the voltage regulator, which was the brown plug that we disconnected, and the ground, which goes on top of there, and you just bolt it down. What they did is they gave me a can't really see it, a lock washer. I don't like to use it because it'll just tighten down on its own. If you want to use it, you can use it just so it doesn't back off. If you tighten it down good, then you can check it every once in a while and make sure that it's not coming loose. And we're going to slide this in. Look at your connections and make sure that you're going to fit it in there right. Which, if the guys installed it properly, you should have no problem. And it should click. Okay, if you pull on this and it comes out easy, then you need to push on it a little bit harder when you put it back in. Slide that cover over it, and we will mount this screw up in a minute after I get that bolt off there again. And then next one is the ground right there.